What's up, traders? This is Vee Trades, and today I will be doing a technical analysis breakdown for NEO with the ticker symbol NIO. I will first be going over what I see on the daily chart and finish the video off with the weekly chart. This video is for entertainment purposes only. Please trade at your own risk. So NEO, what has it been doing since last week Friday, since I looked at it? Well, it hasn't been really doing much. You can see that it is moving up higher. It is finding support at that measure move target. Like I mentioned before, this is all one leg right here. This was the second leg. And then price started stalling out at that measure move target, finding support, and it looks like we could be maybe starting another leg up higher. So that was always a possibility of starting another leg up higher. This is one leg right here. After two legs down, that could mark the center of the pattern for another large leg up, and that would take price right around to the 671. Now, do I think that's going to happen? Well, we have to wait and see. It's still bearish because we're below the trend lines. So you can see that I drew a trend line off of this swing right here, and I dragged it down to this swing, and then the third touch confirms that trend line towards the downside. You can even probably clone it. It looks like even a channel, so it fits pretty good on the opposite side as well. So it looks like there's a downward channel in play. Either way, we have a downward trend line in play, and price is below the EMA. So this is still bearish, even though we could see short-term price action to the upside. So we'll see what happens. Expectation is that price still continues to trend down lower because of this bearish momentum in play. But again, you have to look at both sides of the story. What are the bulls seeing and what are the bears seeing? Well, the bears are looking at that downward trend line in the EMA, and they're expecting price to continue to trend down lower. But at the same time, the bulls are expecting the price to move up higher because the bears already made two legs down. So we'll see what happens. There's some indecision going on. Overall, this really hasn't been doing much. We're still at the same price level as in June 11th. So it's not really that spectacular of a move up higher. We'll see what happens. It still needs to break above this level right over here at the 477 because that was prior support and it could turn into resistance. And we have this downward trend line in play as well. So I would say overall it's still bearish, but in the short term it is looking somewhat bullish. So we'll see what happens. We'll see if price can break through these two levels. If it can, it's probably going to move up higher to the low sixes and to the mid sixes. So we'll see what happens to NEO. It has the opportunity to make a next leg up higher, but there is some bearish factors you have to keep in mind as well. So let's take a look at the weekly chart. Weekly chart is still bearish, still making significant lower highs. So that's not a good sign. Still making lower lows. Approaching all-time lows territory. It's taken a while. It's being dragged out because you can see the angle of attack. So look at this angle right here. This drop is about what, 70 degrees of a drop, almost 90 degrees. This is about 85, 90, almost 90 degrees. This is about 70 degrees, and this is about 45 to 40 degrees. So the angle of descent is getting shallower. So it's just taking longer to reach the all-time lows. Because let's say we kept on moving at that 70-degree angle right here. Well, we probably would have reached it sometime in 2022. This drop right here, if this drop right here continued, if this trend line right here was not broken and price kept on staying below it and bouncing off of it, I mean, most likely it would have reached the all-time lows by September of 2022. But look what happened. Price started tapering off and getting shallower and shallower. So it's just taking longer to see price reach the all-time lows, which I think it has a good chance of reaching eventually. Is it guaranteed? No, it's not guaranteed, but there's still a lot of bearish signs on the chart. Price is still below this trend line right over here. Price is still below the EMA. We're still making lower lows, lower highs. Tells me the downtrend is still in play. Short term, we could see a pop up higher, but again, it will be probably short-lived, and then that long-term momentum will probably still drop down that price. So we'll see what happens to NEO. We'll see if it gets that push up higher. I wouldn't put a great probability to it, but it's definitely something that can occur, something still in play to see another leg up higher towards the 669, 670 level. But if price just gets rejected from this trend line right here, it's probably just going to roll over towards the downside, something like that. That probably has a better probability in the future of occurring than getting another leg up. But we'll see what happens for NEO. That's all I have on the daily and weekly charts. And most likely I'll give you guys an update this week, Friday. This is Vee Trades, and thank you for your time.